Folks, hello and welcome to Gamers Health. I am Rach Tenkar, your bartender in the OSR. With me, as always, on Saturday nights is my lovely wife, Rach.
Hello?
Rach has such a wonderfully nice, neat hair, and I've got this COVID fucking mess of gray that's going on. I gotta get it fixed at some point. I mean, maybe this coming week. There's a lot of things that had been planned or were penciled in for the past week, which never happened.
Mhm.
And we'll
Yeah, I think our haircuts were
yeah, haircuts were
among
part.
them.
Haircuts were among them.
Yeah, I haven't combed my hair in several days. But then curly people don't ever
Really?
really comb their hair for
All right.
several days.
I washed my hair this morning, and I still look like I just rolled out of bed.
Like I'll spray to refresh the curl pattern.
Oh,
But not. I mean, I didn't do that today either, but I did maybe
oh God.
yesterday when we took Thursday when we took the kid out.
All right. So before we delve into some of our topics for tonight, last week we spent the week up in the Poconos. You heard about last Friday.
Mhm.
Uh, our son, my son Chris inherited Chris when she decided to take on take on me,
Take on me.
take me on. You don't want me singing. You don't want me doing karaoke. Holy fuck! But here's the thing. So Rich and I went up to the Poconos Thursday, came back on Friday. Chris visited New York on Tuesday.
Tuesday.
So two family home. My parents are downstairs. Rich and I are upstairs. So he just basically had all of upstairs to himself. Got to hang out with my parents. Got to hang out at our local pub, which he was missed at.
Yeah.
So he got to do a lot of his bonding and other stuff without his parental persons being around. So we came back Friday. Now, if Chris hadn't been home, we probably would come back on Saturday. If we come back on Saturday, we would have gotten our haircuts done.
Yeah.
But
Our
time
Walmart haircut.
our time was of the essence. Our biological clocks were ticking, and it just wasn't going to happen. So Chris was here Easter Sunday. Uh, and he had planned on initially, I think, returning or going down to visit his grandmother on Monday. But our niece Shannon, she's 11. If you've seen her on this channel in the past,
You know how persuasive she can be.
yes, and she's very wired in. So she wanted Chris to stick around for an extra day and do something. So Monday we all went to the Queen Zoo.
Which is a blast.
It was
we had a great time.
Yeah, it was just large enough. They had a great aviary. It was a lot of fun.
I got the same picture that Chris, or similar picture that Chris got with that. I got a bird or duck or whatever he was in the aviary. Towards the bottom, he had like all sorts of crazy colors on his head. It almost looked like he was some kind of like duochrome, like blue and green on his head. It was really cool. So I have a picture of that. That's neat. I got a picture of the kids feeding the goats.
So now notice when we say kids, it's
Chris and Shannon.
Chris 28, Shannon 11. But you know, our niece is very much our kid, and Chris is obviously your kids never fully become adults, because as far as you're concerned as a parent, they're always, I remember you and you were just so big. So and then Shannon convinced Chris that we had something else. So Chris, who was going to then leave on Tuesday.
Yeah, I think so.
Something on Tuesday. All of a sudden, we found out that, oh, we're going out again on Thursday. And Chris was going to leave Thursday night, which we went to the museum.
I didn't even know that was known then.
Yeah, no. Well, it kind of was, because Chris was punting already. There was discussion. He was talking with my sister.
Oh, okay.
So we punted, and on Thursday we went to the Aviation Museum out in Nassau County on Long Island, which was a lot of fun. I got to say, it was a great time. And Chris went and went and visited his grandmother down in Florida. Uh, Thursday night he flew down. I think he drove down from
Yeah, he drove
Tennessee.
down from Tennessee because
Yeah,
he had to get his car out of that garage.
yeah. So he
Yeah.
got down there, Friday morning. Now we're on Saturday. So this is my last week was, because even the days that we weren't doing anything, guess what? We were still doing stuff because our son was here. And yours, trust me, your children require attention no matter how old they are.
Right. Things like doctors or, certain things that they've been concerned about while they've been away. And, you help them connect to what they
Oh,
need.
that's right.
And,
That's right. I almost forgot. 2 doctor's appointments. Pretty much
yeah.
2 medical appointments, I should say. In that span was added into it.
I was surprised that the doc didn't draw his blood inside the office.
Yeah, I don't know if that doc does that anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's getting up there in age.
I guess.
What the heck with it? If you don't need to, you don't need to.
Yeah.
I can pass this on to somebody else. By the way, Paul
Yeah,
Shadow,
send me out.
welcome. I know there's some people that are watching the stream that have not made their presence known. I'm not gonna smack you or anything, but feel free. Feel free, because
no pressure.
Honestly, these live streams do as well as they do, and I say they do as well as they do. The interaction between our audience and us succeeds or fails based upon the chat. So if you see me coming in close to look at the chats, because I refuse to wear glasses when I'm on my computer screen, and
I might come in close too, but I can't really tell.
So in any case, so that was last week. Last week was extremely busy. So earlier today, and this is going to be, I guess, on that mental health, spiritual health, emotional health aspect. We spent time with a friend of ours who Rach and I have known since we started courting, really. And he is on home hospice. We weren't sure if he was going to make it to Christmas or New Year's. And now I look at my watch and we're nearing the end of April and he's still on home hospice. Good spirits, very much with it. And we try to get over
now,
there.
and, a lot more involved in his treatment and trying to understand what his medications do, so that sometimes when you're sick like that, you think medication isn't really going to do anything. It's not going to help me, but in the end of the day, it does help, and it does. Like certain medications that he has to take. Help other medications that he takes,
right?
To address certain issues that arise, like the encephalopathy that comes with liver disease. So he was very much ready to be able to keep that at bay as long as possible, so that he can have as best quality of life, and his wife can have as best quality of life while he's here.
So, I mean, part of what we do is we do it for us. He's a friend of ours.
Yeah.
I enjoy spending time with him. I enjoy hearing his stories.
Mm-hmm.
He's a retired New York City police officer, did anti-crime. He's part of my mother's generation.
Yeah.
And actually, he's been in this neighborhood his whole life. So, things like that are done not just because you want to support the individual and support their family. You do it because it's important to you. Now, we have mutual friends, because this is, again, part of the pub community. John was not only a retired police officer, he was a bartender at our local pub. He grew up with my mother in this neighborhood. John is, in a way, a larger than life personality to some extent. I mean, and everybody deals with it differently. But we're finding, and even John has remarked on this, that most people don't want to visit. Most people don't want to see.
And his wife also.
Yeah, see an individual in that state. Now, maybe it's because of my occupation and Rachel's occupation that we have a different way of viewing this and addressing this.
Yeah, our occupations are spiritual experiences and
to a large extent,
and spiritual life, I guess.
but it also means that we are conditioned. I don't want to say trained, but there's a condition that goes along with these occupations that you're in the moment. You at that moment. You're in that moment for the person that you are with.
Right, right. And even with the yoga thing, like being able to use suffering, you know, ways that you might have suffered. Like I've lost both my parents now. Um, you know, I lived in another state than they did. As they were going through their process. So, um, my brothers and sister, well, my brother and sister were more involved in the day-to-day care of my parents. And so, for me, like that was an area of suffering that, I wasn't able to be there because I created a
Right.
life away from where they were living. So, like in New York, so that I could be able to have freedom and like a semblance of a life because I'm half blind. So, those were some of the sacrifices that you had to make. But, being able to like use that suffering to be able to understand the situation for this family and also be able to be of service to the family
Right.
in the way that maybe, at certain points in our life, we couldn't be of service to our own family.
In this case, John does have 3 kids.
Yes.
They're close to him and his wife, but they all live out of state.
Yeah.
So it's not like they can be there, and it's it is literally not to say it's a burden, but it is literally something that's a logistics issue
Yeah.
to get the children and the grandchildren around on
Mhm.
any kind of regular basis. So Rach and I try to get over at least once a week, sometimes twice a week. We'll
Yeah.
probably check in earlier on this week, and um, I enjoy the process of spending my time with John and his wife because I would want this done for me.
Yeah.
You
That's
know,
it.
and I've always considered John a friend, pretty much since we first met, and we
Oh
made that
yeah.
we made that connection. And it was like, oh wait, both on the job, and oh wait, my mother from the neighborhood from when you guys
Mhm.
were kids and teens. They were like a year apart. It's like the connection was there.
Mhm.
So John has become part of my extended family. So I am. I'm not going to say I don't feel it. I certainly do. The more I talk about it, the more I feel it.
Yeah.
But I am not going to be someone who says, "Well, because I feel it, I can't visit. I'm gonna. I'll see him once a month, or I'll call him on the phone once a week." No, no. I'll call 2 or 3 times a week and have a phone conversation, and I will. I mean, we didn't. Last week we went long. This past week we went almost a week and a half without paying a visit.
Yeah,
That
that was a really long time. And it
usually,
made us feel concerned. Like
yeah,
we didn't like that feeling of
yeah, because usually we're there about every 5 days or so on
Mhm.
average. So it's about like 3 times every 2 weeks, and I talk to John usually every 2 to 3 days, and we just had so much stuff going on because of the the Easter holiday,
Yeah.
having our
Having been away and having
yeah.
the kid here,
So all these things
all that.
become part of the process. You can't ignore it, you know. And like you'll say, I Chris had a medical appointment. I planned on calling from the appointment, and I didn't because when I was at the appointment waiting in the car, I had other stuff going on. It was in your mind, and then you forget. And you're like, oh, son of a bitch! Now it's like 7 o'clock at night, and I know John's probably already sleeping because his sleep hours are all wacky because of the illness. So you're like, oh, son of a. So, but you gotta make the best decisions for folks and people that you can make. It is not necessarily easy, and it's not going to necessarily be the easiest decision that you can make for
Mhm.
yourself. Okay, we see this with our larger community of people that are friends and compatriots or people in the community that know John, and they'll call him once a week, but people don't want to see somebody and in less than a healthy state. That's the human nature, right? You always want to. I want to remember them when they were kick ass and knocking people out with one punch at the age of 75. True story. So
True story indeed.
true story. So but it doesn't always work that week. Randall Porter. Last week, my mom got on Medicaid, and this was
Good.
a huge weight off my shoulders. She's 92, and she's not going to get any better.
Sure.
You know what? I mean, and that is the truth, right?
Yeah, sometimes that's the victory, like that you got that she and the family now have peace of mind because she has insurance.
James Seymour wants to know, are politically volatile topics part of gamers' health? Well, they can be part of game. I think the Second Amendment.
I'm like, it depends.
Like the Second Amendment. Well, here, I mean, because of my sciatica, my lower back issues, I am licensed to carry in the state of New York, and I'm the HR 218 certification.
Wait. I'm sorry, I don't understand the.
Well, Second Amendment is the
You're
firearms.
carrying.
I don't carry as often as I used to because
okay, I understand.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Right. For a while I wasn't carrying. I've taken the habit back up as my sciatica has gotten less invasive for my health. But when I was working, I would carry almost 24/7. It was almost a joke in the household because I was used to it. Then you get sick, and it becomes painful, so you stop. And then even once you start healing, you might not. And that goes for a lot of things, right? These are habits that when you have them, whatever the habit is, it's a good habit, hopefully. But maybe because you're sick, your eating habits changed, right? Maybe because you were sick, your exercise habits changed. Getting back into those habits is hard because you have to relearn them, and initially it's going to probably be painful, right? It put a pound or a pound and a half of weight on your waist is going to throw your walking off, throw your sciatica off. Trust me, I know. Just like if you stopped exercising and you get back into exercising, you're not going back to the point where you were right away, right? You might want to, you might think you can, and then you realize, holy shit, this thing's kicking my ass. These exercises that I could do so easily before, I've been away from them I had a long-term illness, right? You're away for 6 months. You come back to it.
Yeah.
It's like learning to ride the bike again.
I'm just trying to think too of like, because James asks about, politically volatile topics.
Yes.
Relating to gamers' health, and like if you think of like obesity itself, in the news, in social media, the body positivity movement, which I don't think is a bad thing. I think it's a good thing. But I think that, you're always trying to work for health, like I can't say that I chose obesity as a lifestyle.
Right.
It just kind of went there,
Right.
My relationship with food, the way my body is, my heredity, those things kind of, my thyroid, those things kind of like, contributed. So I never chose this as like a lifestyle or an identity. And, I don't know that that's really an identity and something that, people want to embrace, like, oh, fat chick and la la la. I'm so happy,
Right.
I don't know that, my heaviness ever brought me happiness. But really going for health, being able to go for, exercise, things that are going to strengthen me and strengthen my ability, maybe being a little less focused on how other women look or what I think other women look like, or just in that way. That's another way I can see gamers' health kind of having an intersection.
Yeah, there's an intersection with that, and honestly, The way I look at it, and I'm listen, I'm weighing in at 232. I should be weighing what? I'm sure.
Right.
I'm sure according to the obesity standards, I should be under 200.
Right.
But the way if you lose weight and and you gain some muscle, if you get that weight off you, you increase your heart health, you lower your chance for diabetes. If you have diabetes, you improve your numbers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And overall, you skew the numbers to a longer potential life. Um, I'm not saying that if you are a heavy set because of the cards that were dealt to you, that you shouldn't say, I'm
Right.
heavy and I accept it. You can say, yeah, I'm heavy and I accept it, but how can I improve my life?
Right. What can I do?
Right.
And not to say what can I do means that I'm not good enough. What can I do to get to the next level of strength for myself so that I can avoid in my older age, as I'm 50,
Yeah.
having a fall risk? Because my core isn't um, functional enough.
Right.
So that's why we do things like functional strength training, with the TRX and other modes of being able to develop the core, to be able to have other exercises be able to be more impactful for me. Like, I think body positivity is a good thing, in the way that um I think body positivity makes it so, that people can think of their weight in a different way and have it not be as stigmatizing. Where
Which
I
is fine.
remember at a point in my life, I was afraid to go to a gym. I would never, and I would not go to a gym with mixed company. The only gym I was ever able to join was Curves, which was
Caves.
Curves. It was like a national chain. It doesn't exist anymore. I think it ate itself because there were too many curves going on. Um, so there is a lot of like fat shame that comes up that isn't really needed and isn't even really helpful for people in, getting to their goal. So the communication of body positivity is that you are fine the way you are right now, and you are invited. You're invited to do things like yoga. You're invited to do things. You can be a part of this. Health is available to you. So
So you're
I
saying,
think of that as
so you
body positivity.
as you're saying, like,
Those are the messages that I like from it.
okay,
But I don't like, like, all right, I've never
all right,
seen this necessarily
all
from the
right,
body positivity movement. But when you have like conservative talk show hosts come on, they'll show you like, I'm so beautiful, like, and they'll have like Lizzo on there, and I don't know what the full thing that Lizzo is doing or saying at the moment. I just know like the most embarrassed. Here I am having my little opinions. The most embarrassing because she's bearing her body, which
right.
I'm not a body bearer. Because I'm albino, I don't really like to have my skin out. I get very allergic. Like, I don't like to come into, like, I don't wear a skirt in the subway because I don't want my skin to come in contact with the seating. I don't like my arms out in the summer even because I don't like my arms to come in contact with the rails or, anything, except my hands, because I know I can wash it or
Right.
gel it. So like those kind of things, because I have pretty sensitive skin and sun sensitive too, so that makes me somebody I tend to like to be covered. So like when I see someone, you know, with their skin out,
With their skin out. This sounds
I tend
so
to have,
dirty.
yeah, I tend to
You got your
have
skin
like,
out.
oh, that's not good, Um, so yeah, like, but sometimes like they'll portray the things that like Lizzo is doing as, oh, I'm the best thing going, I'm the hottest thing out there, and almost that they're saying that, okay, you're healthy, you can be as fat as you want to be and still be healthy,
But
and
doesn't work that way.
yes, that doesn't work. There's a disconnect there. but are they really saying that I need to look more at body positivity, writings and blogs and websites and things, you know, to better understand? Because I don't know that necessarily they're saying that.
They are certain.
I would want it to be like, yes, you are invited to be healthy.
Yes, you can always improve
foster
yourself.
your health. Yes.
James Seymour also wants to know: do you game in any fashion? You, not me.
Me.
Does Rach game in any fashion?
To some degree, I do game at cons. It hasn't quite transferred into
Regular
a
gaming.
regular gaming situation, but I'd be open. No.
Yeah. We may have Rach hanging out on Thursday nights in the Discord server.
You'll just have to show me what to do and how to use it.
Yeah, because she's been participating from the background. She's like, and yes, here's my
blah, blah, blah.
Just join in, Rach. Just join in.
Wah, 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 wah.
James Breeden. Life is all about how you look at it. It can be positive and magical, or negative and struggle. Always strive to be the best version of you.
Exactly.
Much love and blessings to all. And James, that's a very important part, because I'll be honest with you. Did I strive to be the best version of me until I had major health issues, and then realized, holy shit, if I don't strive to be the best version of me, there may be no version of me. It's a wake-up call to some extent. And I would like to think that I didn't need to be brought to the precipice and look over the edge and go, holy fuck, before, saying, all right, I got to start doing exercise. I got to watch what I eat. I got to keep an eye on stuff. I got to be doing all this stuff. Now, my son, who's in much better physical shape than I am, is an experiential learner. In other words, he will not learn from my mistakes. I've tried.
You can't just tell him, don't do that, because
I've done it.
He needs to see.
No, he has to. Himself. Yeah, he has to hit his head into the low-hanging wall first on his own. And he goes, "Oh shit, low-hanging walls! I should duck." Everybody learns differently.
Yeah, it's like, I know that for next time now.
All right.
He does integrate it in the
yes. Part of the reason that Rach and I do this live stream on Saturday nights, that we talk to you like this, and we are, again, who we are. We're honest about our struggles and our issues and our successes and our failures, is because if we get one listener over the course of a year who is able to make improvements in their life based upon what we've talked about,
that can understand that they're invited to this party too.
That's a huge success. In a couple of weeks,
we're engaging in it, so you can.
Right. In a couple of weeks, we're going to have a couple of guests on, another couple. They're going to be joining us. They're gamers, and this is you're going to be talking about their life, their successes, their struggles, and it's going to. I think having them on is going to show you that it isn't just Eric and Rach, these two fucking assholes that we have to look at. Wait, no, these people aren't assholes. No, but it allows you to see that everybody, the struggles are all real. Okay, the difficulties are all real, but they're all different. And even though they're different, you don't have to walk the path on your own and be, I've got no support. We've told you before. Reach out to us, tenkars.tavern@gmail.com. You can call us 347 509-5168. Man, I almost forgot it. 347-509-5168.
I always remember the last four.
Yeah, I know, my old shield number. You can just leave us a voicemail if you just need to talk and wants to call you back. We won't. But if you need feedback, we will give you feedback. If you need somebody to actually have a phone conversation with you, we will do that. Okay? Because this is our community. And we're not doing this as professionals. Okay? We're doing this as members of the community. Peers helping peers.
Yes.
Gamers helping gamers. Right? We're all in this together. And just because your struggle is different from our struggle doesn't mean that we don't have empathy and sympathy for your struggle, and that we're incapable of supporting you.
Yeah, if anything, we would like research the shit out of it and try to understand
it more. Which we've done.
Yeah.
I mean, that's...
They would just research the life out of it and see what we could find out, and see what we could grasp so that we could maybe bring it to the community so that, other people can learn and, because, yeah, these illnesses, most illnesses are not like so rare that nobody
Right.
struggles with them.
Right. You know what?
Or can relate to it in some type of way.
Right. So now Jane Seymour, they're doing a follow-up to his political talk.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just wondering how New York cops feel about concealed carry and a probable Justice Thomas writing of the Supreme Court case. I can't speak for.
Oh, interesting. Oh, we did not talk on guns. Maybe a month ago was it that people were kind of asking about guns, and
I cannot speak
just kind of went there
about any other New York City police officer, retired or active. All right, their opinions are their opinions. I can speak from my experience. And my experience is of the guns, myself and my unit, which was a very proactive unit in the late 90s and early aughts, the guns that we took off the streets, 0 were legally carried. Every gun that we brought to the streets, the person carrying it was not legally carrying. They did not have a permit. The weapons often were defaced, and there was no record of them making a purchase of it, so they were often stolen or store purchases. So if you're asking me how I would feel about an increase, me personally, an increase in lawful concealed gun owners on the streets of New York City, which is different than New York State. To New York State's, if you're living in the counties north of New York, you put in for a carry permit, you're likely going to get it, and it's good in the whole state, but the 5 boroughs of New York City has to have an additional endorsement on your New York State or county permit if it isn't from New York City. New York State permit's good anywhere in the state, but like if you get one from Rockland County, it's only good everywhere but the 5 boroughs. So if you ask me personally, in my opinion, they're going to be lawful gun owners. I never had interactions with lawful gun owners in New York City. Everybody was an unlawful.
Well, you can't because the licensure is so stringent. So much red tape to go through to get
now,
it.
That being said, when I retired 6 years ago, we had
I'm not saying everybody that you met with a gun was an upstanding citizen.
No. But here's the thing. When I retired 6 years ago, we had a huge scandal in the licensing division, and where we gave out the permits. And when I literally happened like a month before I retired, so when I went down to retire, my paperwork was a real pain in the ass to get through, and I was looked at as I was retiring out of internal affairs, and I was looked at as, oh my God, this rat from internal affairs is here to screw us over, and they thought I was there to be the devil. But the thing is that connected people that were in the jewelry business, and people that were lawyers, and people that were getting permits where somebody who might have a legitimate concern for their safety was not.
Like a crime victim, for example.
Right. So it was kind of like a pay-to-play scam that was going on. So I would hate to see something like that happen. But I would personally, for me, you tell me that people that are responsible and are licensed to carry, which they do in how many states in this great country, I personally would not have an issue with it. Mm-hmm. I can't speak for other cops. I can't speak for especially active cops. Going to change in New York City how you deal with somebody who's armed. The assumption before in New York City, somebody's armed and they're not identifying themselves as a law enforcement officer, current or retired, you had an illegal firearm. Now, the assumption is going to be, oh, well, if you're wearing a holster, maybe it's legal. It's going to change the parameters. It's different parameters. When we spend our time up in the Poconos, Pennsylvania is pretty much a will issue state. You apply for a permit, you're a resident, you get your permit, but you can also open carry everywhere but I believe Philadelphia.
Right.
So you can, if you're a Pennsylvania resident and you're on your property or you're walking into town, you can have a gun on your hip and it is totally legal. I don't know how I feel about that, but that's a whole different topic. But
Right. I think it's a whole different culture
yeah,
than what we're used to. So, because we're not used to seeing guns
right.
except with police.
Yep. James Seymour, I understand struggles with weight. I still picture my best me as I was in high school
Hmm.
wrestler from decades ago. For me,
Sure.
I picture me while graduating the police academy. I went in weighing 213, barely making the BMI, and I left weighing 223. So I lost a little body fat, put on a lot of muscle. And needless to say, the moment you're out of the academy, you're no longer working out 5 days a week. You're no longer running. I hated fucking running. So the first thing I did was, I'm never running again. Um, you know, uh, the weight goes on because you're not changing. Here's the thing, and this is the biggest thing I think about weight gain, is that for many of us, we put on the weight gain because our metabolism goes down. Why is your metabolism going down? Besides age, you don't do the working out that you were doing, the exercise that you're doing, but you're still taking the calorie intake. The hardest thing to do is cut your calorie intake.
Mm.
It's easy in retrospect, right, to say, I'll exercise more. I'll do more cardio. That's probably
But it's
easier.
never a pencil eraser. That
No.
the diet is the pencil. That exercise you could you could think of as maybe the size of the pencil eraser, and
Right.
it's effectiveness. You're doing that to keep your heart and your body healthy and your systems kind of
Well,
working. But it's not, unless you're doing it like to some sort of excessive sort of
like 30 minutes a
like
day.
bulimic kind of
Right.
activity.
Well, but
To shed weight, and like you're making sure that you
but
burn
but
more than
the
1,000 calories
but the thing is,
in a day, then
when I was in the academy, we probably had physical exercise for anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half a day.
Mhm.
So you could eat 3 large meals a day,
Mhm.
and you were going to keep it, and you're exercising. You're putting on muscle. Muscle burns more calories than fat. But the problem is, when you are out of that situation, when you're out of that focus situation, I was for like 8 months, and now you're out of it. Guess what? Human nature, the mind, is very quick to say, "Oh man, thank God I no longer have to do this shit every day." But you're still eating the same shit every day. So now, whereas before maybe your calorie intake versus your metabolism were pretty much even, now your calorie intake has gone up, your metabolism has gone down because you're not working out, and all this shit turns into fat. So before I was hospitalized with congestive heart failure, my weight was above 270. Congestive heart failure put me up to 292, but I didn't even realize I was at 270. I
Mhm.
only found that out talking to my orthopedist, who mentioned
Yeah.
my pre-COVID weight. And I was like, holy, because I was assuming that's like, I'm gonna make 240s. You know, you don't realize it, and that's the other thing too. How do you keep yourself honest? I mean, I got to keep myself honest. I have congestive heart failure. I weigh myself on a daily basis, but weigh yourself twice a month, once a month. Not going to say which member of my family who's in total denial that they may have put on like 30 pounds. And it's like, there's no way the scale is right. How the doctor scale right? The doctor scale was wrong too. No, dude.
Oh, the doctor scale was wrong?
Yes.
Oh.
So, there's got to be, you have to,
Mhm.
again, I didn't weigh myself for well over a year. I didn't know. I
Oh
wasn't
yeah,
paying
we've all
attention.
been through periods like that. The denial is huge, and it's so sneaky. It's like, well, I don't need to weigh.
Yeah, and it's rough.
We don't want to know.
James Seymour wants to know who or what is a Lizzo. Uh,
Oh, Lizzo is
body positivity
a body
model.
positivity person, a model, and I guess an R&B star.
I don't know. I think
I know she has songs. She's
well,
she's a,
she's a
a singer.
she's a social
Yeah,
media individual.
that too.
So, Rach, gaming, RPG or board games with friends can be a great way to spend time and let life take a break. We used to do some board games with my mother, especially when we were courting and early on in our marriage.
Oh yeah, the train.
Ticket to Ride and Carcassonne. But they got very competitive. They didn't
Yeah,
like.
don't mess with my lines. Don't mess with my train.
Yeah, when you actually played these games, like
he
gamers
put
play,
his train. He'd put his. I don't. Maybe
my
they were trains. They were
yeah,
little
yeah.
like train cars, and he'd put it down on my thing. I'd be like,
I,
"Are you
I
gonna put your train on
yeah.
my train?
It was we had
on my track?
we had to play Ticket to Ride like a
You're
bunch of
oppressing me."
it was like a bunch of solo games. It was like, oh, all right, well you're going this fella.
Yeah, it was very cooperative play.
So, but
Maybe I can handle that now.
yeah, Rafe does play RPGs though
At
at
the
the various
conventions.
conventions, and sessions without me. Okay, so she doesn't
Mhm. Oh, I
me.
played in what was the one without you?
Merle. Well,
Merle, Top Secret.
yes.
With Merle Rasmussen, and then I think I played in one of Skeeter Green's games
Oh God.
of the big dungeon.
Oh yeah, we played with Skeeter with the Mouth of Doom being
No,
being chased the 3D dungeon, being chased by the
the one that he made and would put together, and we tried to put together.
yeah, that was the Mouth of Doom.
Mouth of
Yeah,
Doom.
we got killed by a giant snake. Yeah,
Rapanathic.
Rapanathic Mouth of Doom.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did that. Yeah, and you played in like Matt Finch and Bill
Oh
Webb.
yeah.
So
Yeah, and the because they do some games at North Texas for ladies.
yeah,
You know, or spouses, you know, of gamers that aren't um that are still learning what this is.
yeah, these women they're dangerous. They are very cutthroat and violent when they play their games. They were playing what was it, a prohibition game. I think you were all killing people and
yeah. Yeah, we were killing people in the street. It was fun.
James Seymour, you're welcome for answering the 2A. Listen, I don't think there is a one size fits all answer. But I think there's a one size will have to fit all legal ruling. I just will it be a better fit for rural areas than urban areas? Maybe. And but I've I'm I've always been, even as a law enforcement officer, I always preferred laws and procedures or acceptable. What am I looking at here? Um, Cultural decisions that you made. What was acceptable? That was taught to me early on by my training sergeant, God rest his soul, Fitz, when he pointed out we worked the South Bronx, and this was early '97, and he was like, you know, you see these people on their hanging out in on their stoops, their porches. He goes, you know, or in front of them, and he goes, you know, if you see them and they are drinking alcohol, technically that's a violation of the law. But if they see you coming along and they put it down and they say hello and they don't drink it in front of you, they kind of put it to the side, just leave them be. You know, he goes, don't.
That's their yard.
That's
their
yard.
Space that they have.
You know, so I've always been of the attitude of intrude as little as is necessary to keep the peace. So again, that's my attitude is not necessarily that of the majority of cops, or even many cops, or even some cops. I don't know, but it's always been my attitude. So, Jane Seymour, need to stock up on celery and carrots. No, thank you. Here's
a celery we could do.
I don't like the taste of celery. Here's the thing. You have to find, when it comes to proper eating habits, and it is a habit. This is something that you have to habitualize yourself for. And I'm the first person that's going to tell you that, oh, everybody should have a cheat day. Here's my reaction to cheat days. Okay. I'm going to pass it around. Everybody can read it. And
Oh.
the reason why I say that is because you have a scheduled cheat day. It's like an entitlement. Oh, well, I'm entitled to a cheat day and eat like shit. No, now, there might be a time when you've had a bad week or a bad month, and you just like, oh my, or it's a holiday or it's a birthday. All right, then fine. Maybe you step out of line a little bit. But to say that you are entitled to a cheat day because you did well in your diet is telling, in my opinion, that you don't care about what you eat in reality. I was just eating well so I could eat like shit. That's not the way to do it. I mean, now, today, we went to the pub for dinner because, hey, look, Rach, my blood sugar's at 66 and still going down. I need food quicker than I can make it at home. And you know what? I won't have wine. I'll have some Coors Light and let's get some chicken quesadillas going because I need to bring my carb count up. Would I have made those same decisions if my blood sugar was not at like 66, but was at like 120? 120, I would have been like, oh, well, if we're doing the pub, I'll do the avocado salad with chicken and with red wine because you make decisions based upon what is appropriate for your body necessarily. I would love to be able to take a pint of ice cream, of some good Haagen Dazs, or one of the classic Ben and Jerry flavors, and just pig out and go. Ugh. It's not going to do me any good. It's going to screw up my blood sugar and it's going to put weight on my belly.
Yeah, nothing tastes that good.
And that's the thing. You kind of start learning that. James Breeden, I'm 57. I've found that stretching and keeping flexible is very important.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That is huge. And I mean, oh God, I mean, yesterday I woke up and oh my God, usually it's my left shoulder, but my right, I was having tightness where I couldn't even lift my arm. And I just started doing a lot of stretches, a lot of rotations. I did some shadow boxing because all these things like them. And the great thing about movement like shadow boxing, if you've got some repetitions down, I've got some down from playing the boxing
The
game.
Nintendo.
I got a Nintendo Switch. Is that they will force you into motions that you might stop because you'd feel that tightness. And you'll push through it. And after the first 3 or 4, you start realizing, oh, well, it's not as tight as it was. It's
Well,
loosening
because
up.
the synovial fluid is coming into that joint.
Yep. James says James Seymour says he likes how you light up talking about it. I guess about your violent gaming, Rach.
Oh.
Yes, playing games. That is. Yes.
Nice.
No, I wasn't boxing Shadow. It would have been that I probably would have lost. I think Shadow has better reach than I have. I think he's taller. So I true story too. When it comes to boxing, my first real experience boxing was in the police academy, and
you boxed in the police academy.
They boxed in the police academy. You had the headgear on, you had the gloves. So
people you're going to apprehend would box.
No, but you needed to know how to throw a punch, how to defend against a punch. Okay. So they gave you the first couple of moves, right? And then they're like, all right, we're gonna have you spar. So they had me sparring with a guy in my company, and I was I saw who it was, I went, oh shit. And the reason why I said oh shit is because he was an amateur pro boxer.
Wow.
He used to box in the Golden Gloves for New York City's Daily News at our local Elks Club. This was a big thing.
Oh, he was from here.
No, but he was from New York City, and the Elks Club did it all for the metro area.
Oh, got it.
And needless to say, I'm like, all right, and it's boom, boom to my face, right? Boom, boom, side of my head, boom, boom to the. I
can't do this anymore.
I got no shots in. So now another guy was also getting his ass kicked by somebody else who was, I think the guy was a professional. Well, again, not professional, but a well-trained kickboxer. I wasn't doing any kickboxing, but he was, kickboxers can also punch. So the two of us we're exhausted from getting our asses kicked. And I was, and I saw it. Now they teamed up the two that got their asses kicked. And I'm like, dude, um, you know what? You throw a punch and hit me like here, real soft, and then I'll throw one and I'll hit you in the shoulder, real soft, and then we'll just like clinch or some shit like that. He's like, that sounds really, really good because I know. My ears were ringing. And
I would never.
yeah, and the guy was like, the guy apologized to me, oh, dude, I'm
Oh.
really sorry, man. I'm just not used to sparring with people who have no experience with the boxing, you know. I'm like, oh, I kind of figured that because
I'm
and
glad we could come to an
yeah,
agreement.
and then the next week he got hit by a car and broke his leg.
Oh.
No, they recycled him, which it
Oh, he
sounds
was able to go through the academy at a later date
right.
or finish it.
They put him in they put him out sick initially, put him in an administrative
Aw.
position, and he got to beat somebody else up in the next academy class.
Okay. So everybody was happy.
Everybody's happy. I just knew that the next time I had to box somebody in class in our gym, it wasn't going to be the one who had my ears ringing, and then he was intimidating to look at. I would have been like, and I was like, "You want me to fight?" Really, I was like, "Oh, jeez, he didn't have mercy on me." Uh, Kim George, hey, you two awesome people. Well, thank you, Kim. I am half as awesome as Rach. It's okay. Listen, I will fully admit, when I met Rach, I aimed high. I was like, there's no way in hell she's gonna say yes. So I better keep on working on this to get to the point where she'll say yes. And here she is 10.5 years later.
There we go.
And she's like, maybe I did okay. I could have done.
I think I did good.
I could have done worse.
I done did good.
You done did good.
Yep.
Like, thank you. So we actually had topics for today. I don't think we touched on any of them.
Well, that's okay. We went where we needed to go, I think, or hope.
All right, so here's what we were thinking about touching on, because we still got a few minutes left. It's only 8:53. We haven't really touched on any of the stuff we planned on, but we often talk about or hear about. I know I hear about this a lot from members of the gaming community. Seasonal depression, when the fall hits and the days start getting shorter, especially once the days once we cross that equinox and the days become less than 12 hours and they really shorten down, and the temperature gets cold and people get depressed. And now we're kind of gotten the swing thing of it, right? And people should be getting out of depression. Although, and I've seen this, is that you have that, but you also have the idea of it's spring, and spring is the real start of the year, not New Year's Eve, not Chinese New Year. Okay, spring, and with spring comes spring cleaning. In our case, planting, gardening, trimming. It's a lot of responsibilities that suddenly pop up on you.
Or even the whole idea, like if you suffer from depression already, and then you hear people speaking, it's such a happy way about spring coming. And because of the depression, you don't have the ability to have that same mindset. People feel ashamed or feel like, oh, I'm so different, or I'm never gonna be able to dig out of this.
Well, James Seymour says, still trying to wake up from my yearly bout of sad. And that is, I mean, James, you're not alone in, and I mean, there are other things that will get me in a bout of depression that doesn't last long. Rage would never last long, and if I got into a funk, but I do know good friends that suffer from it, and what I have told many of my good friends, and especially when it really hits in that depth of the winter, is, hey, you got my phone number. I know most of you out there don't, but in case of the friends that I'm dealing with, you got my phone number. The only people you're going to wake up if you call at like 3 o'clock in the morning, if you need to, is me and Rach, and maybe not even Rach. So, I mean, honestly, so I've always felt like that. And really, you need to connect with somebody who, not necessarily 3 o'clock in the morning, but somebody that you can reach out to and that can just listen to you. I find that with my friends that have seasonal depression, or in that temporary funk because of whatever's going on in their life, having somebody that will listen, will actually give a shit. I can't fix people's lives. I can't, uh, cast a magic spell, bring out my wand, and say, "All right, well, you know what? I've removed this curse from you. You're no longer going to have the seasonal depression, and or
Yeah.
you're no longer going to feel overwhelmed in your life." I can't. I don't have those abilities.
Right.
I don't have these abilities. And listen, this is the new world, right? A lot of my closest friends live, I don't know, a dozen hours away driving. It's not like I could say, dude, hold on, I'll be there in 30 minutes. Let's go. We'll go to the bookstore. We'll go out and get some coffee. I can't.
Hmm.
That's not realistic.
Yeah.
But what's great is that I have friends halfway across the country
Yeah.
that I can be there for. Whereas before, maybe you could, all right, I'm going to make a phone call at 10.6 cents a minute. Dude, I really would love to help you more, but um, I called you back and listen, this $7 phone call after,
What?
4 minutes. Phone calls were expensive when we were younger, Rach.
Oh,
The old days,
in the yeah. Okay.
in the way back. Now, yeah, dude, call me. Yeah, let me call you on Facebook, and you'll be on forever, and it
It's all
costs
in the plan too.
right. So there are ways to deal with it. I mean, listen, if you and I'm not, we make no profit off this. I'm not selling you anything.
Yeah.
Thursday nights, 9 o'clock Eastern, on the Tenkars Tavern Discord server, we do a hangout, and I do it probably 49, 50 weeks a year. I miss occasionally
Yeah.
because of conventions or, in one case, running out of data in the Poconos. But um, we hang out for at least 2 hours usually, from 9 to 11, and it's a bunch of gamers talking about anything, old
Often it's games, and then
games and
just
old
what's
movies
happening in their lives,
and geeks and what's happening in their
geek
lives.
stuff. Hmm.
And you know what? You connect with people, and there's no shaming. There's no and there's honesty too. It's like people going, yeah,
Right.
I've been having these struggles. I've been having this and that, and you get real feedback from real gamers, real community
Yeah.
members. Again, for those out there that say, "Oh, the OSR is not a community; it's not an RPG community," just go
Yeah.
fuck yourselves. All right, all honesty. If you don't want to be part of the community, that's up to you.
You opt out. It's
Opt
fine.
out, but don't tell people there is
Yeah.
no community that doesn't exist because
There
you
definitely
you're
is.
myopic and you don't want to. I can't deal with it. Um, seriously, it's there for you. Take advantage
Mhm.
of it. Be part of it.
Yeah. You were talking about sort of how depression works, but for folks too that have bipolar disorder, this we're going into one of the more difficult times during the year where um because we're shifting towards having more light. um People tend to have a tendency to experience a lot more mania in summer. So mania means that some of the things that go along with mania are just like a lot of extra energy, sometimes like impaired judgment. Mania is something that's kind of sneaky because we're just feeling like, all right, I'm liking this, I feel super productive, um you know things like that. But it can also come along with you know again, that impaired judgment, like, and not necessarily thinking through our
Right.
actions. um you know Also, when someone's manic, they can just bite off more than they can chew in terms of projects, and overextend themselves and get in a lot of trouble that way. In extreme cases, like psychosis can happen because you're not getting proper sleep. You don't need as much sleep to be able to um, continue having a lot of energy. So, being able to watch out for some of those signs and symptoms is a really good way of also protecting yourself from some of the troughs of like when mania stops, bam, deep depression.
Kim George, I love the fall, hate winter and early spring even more. So dreary, cold, dirty, etc. At least I got my portable greenhouse put together today and my seed cells
No.
ready to go. Like I said, we planted some. We planted a blackberry and a raspberry
Uh-huh.
yesterday, and Rach did a lot of weeding, and I did some weeding, and we got some lettuce seeds to plant tomorrow, and some other stuff to do. James Seymour being exasperated by allergies and getting hit with winter illnesses now that masks are lifted. You know what?
Oh yeah.
That it is a horrible, horrible allergy season, and I will say, my best time dealing with allergies was when I was under chemo for Hodgkin's because uh, under chemo the whole smorgasbord. I had no allergies for that
Oh
those
wow.
allergy seasons. Yeah,
Mhm.
probably all the steroids.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, uh, Kenneth McKeon, looking good, guys.
Oh my god.
For folks that don't know, love me or hate me, if you want to blame anybody for getting me into gaming, it is Kenneth McKeon. Okay,
It's his fault.
Ken is effectively my brother in a lot of ways, and certainly my oldest friend, and also the one that introduced me to D&D. And talking about phone calls, had to make a phone call to see if my fighter Cyrus leveled up because he had the DMG and didn't have the player's handbook.
Aw.
That is a true story. So, James Seymour, you are correct. Often having a friend who can listen is a big help for many.
Yes.
Again, that's why I listen. There have been times where I have literally, personally, felt like shit, and Rach has told me you have to do your hangout with people on the Discord channel because it isn't just for you. It is for everybody. Everybody, you're just hosting it, but you're getting people together, and there are people that really it recharges them for the week.
They look for that.
You know
They plan around that.
Yes. Shadow, I never miss the show. A community to be a part of. Yes, and this is a huge thing, and I can't thank you all enough. I mean, you're sharing this journey with us, and I'll continue doing this as long as Rachel allows me to, which I'm suspecting is going to be when my hair fully goes gray. You know, yes, I know. COVID haircut. I need one.
Doesn't matter what color your hair is.
No. Listen, at least I have it, right? That's
Yeah.
Kim George, I'm extremely good at overextending myself. I've gotten better at saying no as I have AIDS, but it's still difficult. Yeah, I know. Sure. Shadow, you're out in California, so your seeds have been in the ground for a couple of weeks. I don't want to hear about it. Like I said, we're going to plant our lettuce tomorrow.
We have to get the rest of the bulbs out of the car.
Yeah, we also got more bulbs to plant in the front. So we got a lot of gardening to do, folks. Yeah. A lot of gardening.
Nice lilies are coming.
Yes, so Kim's going to get some lettuce into the ground tomorrow.
Nice.
Jane Seymour, you planted blackberries, hopefully thornless. Be aware that wildlife can spread the seeds everywhere. That's fine. Listen, we'll take that. It's in our front yard. We have a lot of raspberries, small thorned raspberries, every bearing. So we get 2 harvests a year from the ones that we have planted earlier. They do pretty good. I don't mind the thorns on them because that can keep my random neighbors in the. When I had tomatoes in the front.
Oh yeah.
Some jackass was like, "Oh, when I get back from lunch, I'm gonna pick my tomatoes." I came back and all my ripe tomatoes were picked. I'm like, son of a bitch. They were doing really good in the front yard too. I also plant them in the back. Our lettuce is gonna be on the raised bed. Kenneth McKeon, guilty as charged. Yes, Ken. I mean, honestly, folks, Ken and I have gone to hell and back again. It's kind of like the story of the One Ring, but always been there. So and that's what you need in life. I mean, I am blessed. I have, besides Rach, you're a category by yourself. A handful of friends that I can truly say that chips are down. You ask the favor, you're going to get that favor. And as adults, we don't make those connections very often.
Right.
as children, as teens, you're more apt to make friendships. That's part of what's the beauty of being young.
Yeah.
Um, those friendships that survive from then to adulthood are blessed and immaculate. The number of friendships I have made as an adult, I can count on one hand. And I'm not counting the friendships I made as a cop, where you have a radio car partner that you hit it off with, and they're almost closer than a brother for like the next 2 years, and then somebody gets transferred,
Yeah.
and
And that's
you
kind of
see
dumb.
them like once or
Yeah.
twice in that first year, and then you're over and done with. I'm talking about
Situational.
honest to God, true friendships. Take the ones that are given to you by God,
Yeah.
and cherish them, because they're rare. But friendships, to be able to talk to people about your issues, that's not as rare, and you can foster those into a deeper friendship. You just gotta, like anything else. Like my allergies, you can see my allergies are running right now. Gosh, Dan, I probably need Zyrtec myself, Kim. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just a high allergy day. You just got to put effort into it, like anything else in your garden. Right? Your garden's not going to grow well if you don't put any effort into it. If you just throw seeds out the window into the dirt, and you hope they're going to come up and bear fruit, good luck on that shit. Um, Floating starter trays. I'm afraid to ask, James. That sounds like too much work. Yes, Rachel's a good woman. I did extreme. Listen, I did better than I had any right to ever do so. I understand that. And I hope and pray almost every day that Rach never wakes up and goes, Holy
Holy
shit.
shit, never. Stop that.
Eric, we sure did reel you guys last night. James, yes, you did. We hit none of the topics that were planned, but you got Bad Mike to PM me on Facebook and say, I got to come into the chat. I got to come into the live stream. So, I mean, that was awesome. So it was really strong. And listen, why is it the random generated party? Because we don't know which of the people in the group are going to be able to make it. Listen, I only game with this group once a week on Mondays. Some of these guys have a second session, and then we do the chat on Fridays. That's a lot. I mean, I do. I game one day a week, Monday nights. I do 3 live streams, and I do the Discord chat on Thursdays. So the only nights that Rach truly has me all to herself are Sundays, Tuesdays, and tonight, because when the live streams with her. So I have a very understanding wife when it comes to all this stuff. So I am truly blessed. Plant black raspberries. They are much better than blackberries, and better for you. Well, we have raspberries. We had black raspberries and golden raspberries and red raspberries planted in the back, but I think they got
strangled out by that the ivy, or
not the ivy,
that morning glory.
The morning glories. We've had morning glories in the back for years. Can't keep them under control. They come back every year. It's like a fucking cancer, and they kill half the shit back there. So I don't know. I
don't know if we'll use the backpack
for anything except for
we should probably stick with the containers and then the raised bed.
Yeah, the raised bed is good,
so that we can have our stuff. Well, could raspberries live in the container?
I don't know.
Would they?
I don't know.
Would they survive transplantation when they're mature and have to be able to fend for themselves?
I don't. I think you'd want to plant them in there. Because we can get cold winters here in New York. Let's see. Yeah, Shadow's son's been having allergy issues all day. Yeah, it's been rough.
The nighttime is when I experience mine. Night. I mean, I have them. I guess this is sort of the X. I take it at night, the allergy pill, and but at night I find my eyes just burn in the water.
Yeah,
when it's a really bad day.
James Seymour says that a YouTuber Nis of the Swamps has some good tips on greenhouse and gardening.
Cool.
He's from the Northeast. I've seen like this. I don't know if it's a New Zealander or an Australian who talks a lot about.
Oh yeah, he does a lot with the raised beds and
Yeah.
making all kind of raised beds out of just like random stuff.
Kim, we will be at North Texas. We have our tickets to the con. I got to secure airfare, and Rachel's going to make a call for the hotel on Monday. But we are going. I will be
Nice.
probably sponsoring a room or something like that. We were going to make it a room full of barish liquor, but I think we're just going to throw it into the con just to support the con. The con has done so much for me and Rach over the years. It's such a blessing. We supported it a couple of years ago. We were a sponsor for a room, so we would like to do that again. I'm not worried about putting a banner up. You know, it's just about
I
supporting
mean, we
the con.
could have something done.
See, she always thinks like that. We could. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you have the birthday party that's
I mean,
going
or
on.
shit, like a tablecloth at least, or like some kind of fabric thing
Oh,
that you could
oh.
put around a table.
Oh, wait, like you mean like one of like the shower curtains like Frogga does?
Like that.
I have a shower curtain of barge gate. I can't put it up in the bathroom.
And no, because it's too dark. We don't have enough light. Because the shower would be very dark then. You wouldn't
That wasn't
see what you were putting in your hair.
that wasn't the explanation I was given when we got it. The answer was no.
I think I explained it or thought you would be able to know. Like
Rach, I never expect you to listen. I'm happy
to the point that we had to have lights put in there.
Rach, time out.
But they're still all on the other side of the shower, you know.
Rach.
Yeah.
I was thrilled that you let me put the D&D bed cover over the futon.
I didn't let you. I put it there myself. I said, "What do you think about putting this there since you like it?" And the colors aren't like crazy.
No, it's actually pretty good.
The images aren't bad, you know. Like, yeah. So I put that there, and the pillows are the armrest.
So Kim has 4 12x4 totally organic raised beds. Nice.
Wow.
We have a bunch of earth boxes, which sadly are not raised. And we have a raised bed in the back. I think it is. I want to say that it is 12x4. It might not be a full 12x4. It might be 10x4. But it is a lifesaver for my back.
Yeah.
So that's where the
well, maybe we could get more raised bed for the patio part, you know, and dump the earth box.
Yeah, maybe. Well, we'll see. The raised bed's been doing pretty well. So, Kim, this is going to be your first time at North Texas. Oh my God, you're in for a treat.
Yay!
It is. Listen, if you enjoy watching Mike and I banter on Wednesdays, if you enjoy Rach and I on Saturdays, North Texas is going to blow you away because it is. Everybody is that kind of an attitude. Everybody is really that sweet. It's an amazing place to be. So you're going to have a great time. If I could only go to one con a year, it would be North Texas. I think we're blessed. We can do more than one.
Mm-hmm.
So we will be at ShireCon in September, probably Game Hole at the end of October, beginning of November. I forget when it is. And TotalCon or GaryCon, probably can't do both. TotalCon we can drive to. GaryCon we would if we're.
That's really hard to get to that one.
Right. Well, GaryCon, if we're splitting a room with Mike and his wife.
Oh, that would be cool.
If we're doing like one of the villas, yeah, then that would make the decision. We'll see.
Yeah, they have a beautiful spa there.
Spa day for the wives, gaming for the men.
Or any lady that wants to go. You could be a gamer lady and go in there too.
Get the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Shadow's like, you two are so cute sometimes. If we make you gag, please warn us. You know, I assume that we're well tolerated by many of the old timers at our local pub. which sometimes surprises me. I guess we're getting old ourselves. So.
Yeah. Oh, and Game Hall.
Yeah, Game Hall in November, or
Yeah.
yeah, Game Hall. Game Hall is. But again, if I could only do one, if I could only do one, it would be North Texas. It was our first. It's very special.
Yeah, Game Hall is very nice.
Game Hall is run like clockwork.
Well, I
It's
think because the Clarion is nice too. Like it's nice to stay in the Clarion because they have a shuttle and then
yeah.
they have like it's kind of centrally located to do the things for the con, but then also be able to like go out and do other things too.
Yeah, we're all getting too old for bending over there. Thing is, what I plant in the earth boxes. So once they're planted, it's and I learned from last year. I put peppers and tomatoes together, and then tomatoes pretty much shaded out. The peppers, I have to do them separately. But there's
Yeah.
once these plants are growing, there isn't too much bending, so that's not bad. But with
So one earth box for peppers and then one earth box for tomato.
well, I'm
Or
gonna
two earth box for tomato.
like look. I think we got five, and or 5 or 6. I have to double check. But we're gonna probably do 4 earth boxes for tomatoes, and then
2 for the peppers.
2 for the peppers.
And then the cucumbers will be in the back.
Cucumbers in the back, along with beans on the raised bed.
And we're gonna do the bush one, not the vining.
Yeah, we're gonna do bush because
yeah.
the vining was a pain in the ass.
Yeah, because they just grew down the.
Yeah. Kim, it is much more family-like than Gary Con and Game Hall.
Yeah.
Just
it's a smaller con.
Yeah, it's something very special, and
you have more access to more like. How would you say it, Eric?
right.
More access
to special
guests, and like just different people that you wouldn't at another con maybe have the time to sit with and
right. I mean,
hear about.
North Texas probably has as many special guests as Gary Con, but it's I don't know 20% the size of Gary Con. So your opportunity, you're not going to see like, oh, here comes Ernie or Sabine, and there's like an entourage following, and then hanger-ons, and it's like, hey, it's entertaining to look at, but no, you might have some personalities that will get people following them, but generally speaking, you want to talk to Tim Cass, you want to talk to Mo Rasmussen, you want to talk to Dr. Dennis Astaire or whoever. I don't know who's going this year, but they're very approachable. Dennis and I talked one night. Swear to God, I had to go. Dennis, I know it's only like nearing 3:00 here in Texas, but for me that's 4 a.m. I'm still in New York time. I got to go to bed. That was before Bunnies and Burrows came out. We had a lot of talk about that stuff. So, Kim says yes, they do have a good spa at Gary Con.
Yeah.
James is fully getting equipment for the farm. How does North Texas compare to Gary Con? It's a smaller convention, much more weighted toward old school gaming, although it doesn't require old school gaming. Dealer room is smaller, but you'll still pretty much find much of what you want if you're looking for games. If you're looking for the Gary Con, who's selling knives and I don't know, wooden tchotchkes, you're going to get a lot less of that. If you want people that are selling gaming material and collectible gaming material, you'll find a lot of that. You'll find
like less toy store.
Yeah.
Or
less. Oh, look, there's a gaming table that I'll never have room for in my house, but I could order it and have it delivered. There's less of that, but it's still a very good vendor thing, and you get a lot of people to talk to. There is more. I've seen more deals go on. When I say deals, publishers, creators, between publishers, I've seen more business handshakes happen at North Texas than I've seen at any other con. And maybe it's because I'm more focused at North Texas and seeing it, but I just think people have more of a chance to talk to each other at North Texas. It's a much more relaxed atmosphere. And nobody's looking for Gary Con. I was always like, oh, did you collect your tickets? My tickets. I'm running a game. I don't care. Listen, people sit down. I got 8 players. I got 8 players. I'm not collecting tickets. I don't want your damn ticket.
What do
Um,
you mean ticket?
you was like,
They had to have a ticket to
yeah,
play?
yeah.
Oh.
Um, at North Texas is a list, but I've never turned anybody away from a game if I was running it.
Right.
I always found room for somebody. Most GMs that way at North Texas. It's just a
I feel
different.
like you take your own attendance.
Yeah, I'm not. I find it to be a different experience.
Hmm.
Uh, North Texas is like going home again. All right, it seems like a second home for me. Um, Gary Con is certainly something that's on a bucket list, but it can be overwhelming if and I'm just coming from a New Yorker. The crowds to me could be overwhelming. I never,
Well, some nights you can't really. You have to rent the car while you're there.
yeah, you're
Because you might not be able to eat inside the restaurant in
right. You're
the
not gonna get,
Grand Geneva,
yeah,
on certain nights in the convention because there's such a draw. There's so many people um, coming there to eat. And so in any of the restaurants there, it's like basically two,
yeah,
to accommodate all these people, and it's not big enough.
yeah,
So, you find yourself like sometimes needing to leave the campus to go and have a meal.
right. And I find that at North Texas, believe it or not, a lot of times as games are winding up, you'll have somebody at the table go, "Hey, listen, I want to do a run for, I don't know, doing a taco run. Anybody want to go?" And these complete strangers that didn't know each other 3 hours ago, 4 hours ago, it's like being back in college or hopping into somebody's car to go get tacos because they bonded over the game.
Yeah.
So I've never found a time when Rach and I were like, "Oh, well, what are we gonna do for food?" We've always,
No, we're always taking care of it. They're like,
yeah,
oh, come with us.
yeah. You go,
Oh, hey, we have donuts. This is a delicacy. Whatever delicacy. What is it? Those cakes? They're like empanadas, but they're sweet. Or
yeah,
I can't remember what the cake. I don't know if they even call it cake. Um, because they have all kind. Like some have meat, some have like sweet, like fruit and stuff inside. But they're basically empanadas,
yeah.
but from there.
James Seymour wants to know there'll be video of the midnight auction on your channel. Listen, we may.
We did video some from last year, but we
I
never presented it.
Right. We do
Yeah.
have video from last year with myself in a lobster costume that was auctioned off. I may put that up before North Texas. You'll be no live streaming of anything. There might be some stuff that's recorded, but there will be nothing live streamed, and everything's gonna have to probably go through uh, bad mic,
Right.
and our own sensibilities before I think
To release anything.
right. The midnight auction is
not
an
a live
experience.
stream.
Yeah, the
If
midnight
that's
auction
sure.
is an experience.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of fun. If you don't leave that place laughing your ass off and half drunk, you probably didn't go to the right auction. Yeah, the selection, and the midnight auction is actually, if you want to get stuff that isn't insanely priced like the regular auction can be, you'll find some obscure stuff. I got a basic rule book signed by Earl Lotus, or even the silent auction. I got a beater copy of Deities and Demigods, first print with Melnibonian and Cthulhu in it, signed by pretty much every artist there. I got that for like, I don't know, $90. It's a beater copy. It's worth, well, probably next to nothing as a beater copy, but it's a unique copy and it's signed by all these. So, these are things you're going to get at places like North Texas. James, when I went to North Texas, it was my first convention in well over 20 years. I hadn't gone to one since the early 90s at Gen Con. So it was, I didn't know what to expect, but I just knew it sounded really, really cool. And I signed up for way too many games with Rach and I. So by the time Sunday rolled around, we were just done. Actually, Saturday night, people were like, I can't do any more gaming. So they have revamped the Grand Cafe to be bigger, and there's a chop shop and a Prasago.
What is that? Oh, so there's 3 restaurants now.
Okay.
Huh. Oh, the Chop Shop. That was the
That
Hunyan Steakhouse.
yes.
Yeah, that one. And then they made the that first restaurant bigger.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shadow, I love that about this community. We have so much to bond over and so many shared memories, even though we have never met in person.
Mhm.
So, Shadow, just so you know, and I'm going to say this on the live stream, just so I can have Rach as my witness. Now that my son is no longer here, and I have access to the room that he was in, which I think is where the miniatures are, I can start going through this stuff, and we can get.
What does the box look like of the miniatures?
I think it's in different boxes, so I'm gonna have to find it. But I believe it's on the shelving and in the closet on top. So,
Oh, okay, cool.
so there's stuff that
So we can do it
yeah,
easily
and
without moving a bunch of stuff.
because here's the thing: it's spring cleaning, and what is Rach like more than my cooking? She likes it when her husband gets rid of shit, and it's not shit.
No, just
But-
things that he's not going to use.
Yeah, so
So that somebody else can enjoy them.
Yeah. I thought it was the 70s disco tights outfit for the midnight auction this year. That is this year. Last year, though, was the lobster Ken. This year is the WrestleMania outfit / glam hard rock heavy metal guy outfit that I did yoga in. We will auction that off if we can. I'm actually willing to do the midnight auction in it, maybe just as I don't. For a good cause, I'll do almost anything. I think you've seen that.
Yeah.
How did both of you start YouTubing streaming? Okay.
Here's where I got my start.
This is where
It's
I
not
started.
much of a start, but yeah, I don't really have much else. Like I used YouTube for the way that people used to use YouTube.
Watching shit?
Well, that and then like recording things so that my for yoga for my 200 hour, so that my there were little clips of like different yoga poses or chants or things like that to demonstrate to my instructor so that you could get your grade or get your feedback and then move on. And that's really what I've done on YouTube.
So what you're saying, Rach, is that your channel has no views and no subscribers?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't know that I was really looking for that at the time. I was just like, we just gotta get this assignment done. She said upload it to YouTube.
All right, I'll upload it to YouTube.
All right, we gotta get it done. So yeah, I consider doing YouTube in other capacities.
All right. So here's my.
But I haven't taken the plunge.
My history,
except for here.
I know. So my history starts out with podcasting. Vince Florio snagged me one time, I think my first North Texas, or my first or second one, to do like a from location episode of Roll for Initiative, I think it was, with him and Glenn Hallstrom. And I kind of got the bug. And then I started doing some Feltothraxis videos, puppet videos. If you go back into my early channel, they are fun. They're not high quality shit, man, but they were fun. And I did some videos with Zach Glazer because I figured I needed a co-host. I was experimenting with using the green screen, like the Feltothraxis videos. I actually did, dare I say it, things like fading in and fading out and editing. I haven't done any. Yeah. So then I got into podcasting with Vince and Glenn on the Brainstorm podcast, and we did that for a while. And then that ended, and I got brought back in to do Save or Die for a few episodes. And then me, Glenn, and Jane Spahn had a podcast for, I don't know, 2 or 3 episodes. I couldn't even tell you.
James Spahn.
Yeah. And then I said, okay, I believe Tim Schwartz had his Anchorcast going, and Jason Hobbs had his. And I was like, I think I can do this. But like my blog is a daily blog. And I was like, if I'm going to do a podcast, it's got to be a daily cast. It's got to do something every day, because if I don't do it every day, I got news for myself. I'm not going to keep to another rhythm other than daily.
Oh, okay.
So
You need it as your
I
structure.
need it as a structure. So I started doing these daily podcasts. My first two or three, I had an effective voice because I thought that you needed to be a non-New Yorker to do this stuff, and
Oh, you were trying to
I was
play
trying.
down your accent.
I was trying to be a more, and then it didn't sound like me, and it sounded like shit.
Well, that's the thing. You have to be yourself, and you have to be like,
Yes.
genuinely how you sound
So
to be believable.
I started doing the anchor cast, and the anchor
Mhm.
cast was going really strong, and then I started uploading through an automatic service the anchors to a fake video for YouTube to put up and share, and then
What do you mean, like a stationary thing, and they could
just the
listen?
audio, yeah.
Okay.
And then I started going, all right, you know what? I can do videos. I'll just do what I was doing on Anchor Daily. I'll just do it as a video. And once I started doing that, then I started experimenting with the live streams. And once we got the live streams that Mike and I done, then we started uh, going beyond that and adding in further live streams. So, with the exception of illnesses, hospitalizations, I don't think I've missed a day on Anchor or YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Now the Anchor is no longer going up because the Anchor process to upload the video got buggered when Spotify there was a whole pain in the ass. So I don't even upload to Anchor anymore, and I apologize to anybody who listened on a podcast catcher. I feel your pain, but I do a daily blog. I do daily videos. There's only so much time in the day, in addition to other projects that I do, along with other responsibilities, that spending half an hour uploading a 15-minute Anchor video was just not going to happen. I tried doing it in spurts, like spending an afternoon, 3 or 4 hours uploading a bunch. I excuse me, I ran out of steam. So that's how this process.
Oh, careful.
Yeah, no, I was almost knocked over the glass, but that's how this process started for me, and I enjoy this process, and I
Mm-hmm.
enjoy the feedback. Now, with Rach and I doing this, and you guys giving feedback, I can do the live streams. I can't do solo live streams because I need the time when my co-host is talking with you all to go over and catch up on the chat because it is hard to do so. So and James wants to know, Rich, you wouldn't know. Phineas,
I was
do
like,
you have
what does
favorite
that mean? For the fingers?
Phineas Fingers, Wormy, Phil and Dixie, or Snarf Quest? I think Wormy, but it never completed. I found Snarf Quest to be very annoying. Um, Phil and Dixie could be good or shitty. And
I've
Phineas
never heard
Fingers
of
is
any of it.
these were
Wow.
comic strips on the back of Dragon magazine.
Oh.
So
Hmm.
um Phineas Fingers minis. Yeah, I can't do minis anymore. Trying to catch up here. Trying to catch up. All right. Well, hey, we are at 1 hour 33 minutes. It's 93-minute live stream on a Saturday night. That damn birthday party is still going on.
Yeah, there's a lot of birthdays around here.
Yeah, and they sing
And this is a different yard.
Yeah, but they'll sing happy birthday like a dozen times because somehow by singing happy birthday, they figure the cops won't come to tell them to turn the noise down.
Yeah, I think this one was in Spanish though, the happy birthday that we heard.
It could have been.
Before we started.
So, folks, as always, thank you. Thank you to our live audience. Thank you to everybody in the chat. You guys are really awesome. Kim, thank you. It's always great to have you.
Thank you.
When you join in. It was great having Kenny drop in.
That
Again,
was pretty wild.
Kenny,
Kenny,
it's like again, Kenny got me into gaming. So if it wasn't for Kenny, I probably wouldn't be doing this live stream right now. So that's you can thank. Ophidian, thank you. James, Shadow, thank you so much. This is a mentor health break. Okay. That's what you really need. Like, and I'm assuming mental health break. We're not mentoring you, that's for sure. But yes, mental health breaks. I used to take days off from work for just mental health breaks.
And those were much better than taking them off for like actually being sick.
Yeah. James Breeden, blessings. Thank you, man. Listen, I certainly believe that I owe my existence at this point, with all the little minor miracles or major miracles that have happened in my life, to a higher power. And I am a mere mortal. It's not for me to question. It's not for me to try to figure out why. Just make the most of what I've been given. So I am imperfect. I will always say that I am far from perfect. My attempts are going to often fall short, but at least you make the attempt.
There it is.
So, all right, folks. On that note, be safe, be well. God bless. Roll those dice. We're in the midst of the world of COVID. You know what that fucking means, right? Use your common sense. We're all adults here, right? I hope, mostly. The stats say so. Just use your common sense, all right? And on that note, folks, I'll be back tomorrow with a regular episode. Wednesday night, 8 p.m., myself, Bad Mike, Talking Crit, Zach Glazer, I know, scary, will be the special guest this week. The following week, so in a week and a half, we will have Douglas Cole, Gaming Ballistic. All right. Well, I think Douglas was the first person to interview me, by the way, on his YouTube channel back in the day. Go figure. All right, folks. Latest.
Take care.